Your paycheck didn't change. The price tag didn't change. The number on the receipt is identical to last year. So you assume nothing changed. But you're poorer. Not dramatically, not visibly, just enough that you don't complain. That's the invisible tax. And it works best when prices stay the same. Here's the uncomfortable part. If prices were rising fast, you'd notice. You'd feel angry. You'd demand answers. But when prices are frozen, the system can quietly take more from you than inflation ever could. Let's start with a simple story. Imagine it's 2015. You earn $1,000 a month. Your rent is $300. Groceries are $200. Life isn't amazing, but it works. Fast forward to today. You still earn $1,000. Rent is still $300. Groceries still add up to $200. On paper, nothing changed. But look closer. In 2015, your employer sold something. Maybe a service. Maybe a product. They sold it for $10. Today, they sell the same thing for $12. Their costs went up. Energy, shipping, technology. They raised prices. You didn't. This is where the invisible tax begins. When prices rise across the economy, but your income stays flat, you are effectively paying a tax through lost opportunity, not a bill you receive, a future you never get. Economists have a clean term for this: real wages. But forget the term. Here's the reality. Money is not static. It's not a scorecard. It's a claim on future goods and services. And that claim is constantly being diluted. Most people think dilution only happens with inflation. Prices go up, money buys less. But dilution also happens when productivity rises and you don't share in it. Over the last few decades, workers in many countries became dramatically more productive. Better software, better machines, faster systems. The economic pie grew. But slices didn't grow evenly.
So prices stayed stable for you, while the economy quietly moved on without you. This is why official inflation numbers feel strange. You're told inflation is 2 or 3%, under control, healthy, yet life feels tighter. Because inflation only measures price changes, not missed gains. It's like judging a race only by how fast the slowest runner moved. Now here's where it gets darker. Central banks aim for some inflation, not zero. Why? Because a little inflation is useful. It encourages spending. It makes debt easier to manage. It smooths economic shocks. But when wages lag behind inflation, that little inflation becomes a transfer from workers to asset owners. If you own stocks, property, businesses, your assets usually adjust. If you sell time for money, you wait, sometimes forever. This is why two people living in the same city can experience completely different economies. One feels inflation as noise, the other feels it as suffocation. And when prices don't move visibly, the gap widens silently. Here's a quiet irony. Stable prices are supposed to feel safe. Politicians love them. Headlines love them. But stable prices can hide instability underneath. Companies respond to rising costs without raising sticker prices. They shrink package sizes, cut quality, reduce service, automate jobs. You pay the same, you receive less. Same price, lower value. That difference is the invisible tax. Now let's talk about time, because time is where this gets brutal. If your income falls behind by just 1% a year, it doesn't feel dramatic. But over 10 years, that's nearly a 10% loss in real buying power. Over 30 years, it reshapes your life, not because you made bad decisions, but because the system quietly changed the rules. And here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. This isn't an accident. It's a design outcome. Modern economies prioritize stability, growth, and debt management. Wage growth
is negotiable. Asset growth is protected. Debt benefits from inflation. Savings suffer from it. So when prices stay flat, but assets rise, and wages stall, someone is paying. It just doesn't look like a tax. No government letter, no angry protest, just fewer options, later retirement, more anxiety, less room for mistakes. And the strangest part? Many people blame themselves. They budget harder. They skip vacations. They feel irresponsible, when the real issue is structural. The hype says, if inflation is low, things are fine. The reality says, if wages don't move with productivity, stability is an illusion. Zoom out far enough, and this invisible tax shapes politics, trust, and social tension. People sense something is wrong, but can't name it. They feel cheated without knowing how. And systems that rely on silence don't like being explained. So here's the final question. If prices staying the same can still make you poorer, if stability can hide extraction, if the tax doesn't come as a bill, how do you fight something you were never told you were paying? Because once you understand this, you stop asking why life feels harder and start asking who benefits when nothing appears to change.